It's totally messed up my head. Welcome, folks. We're listening to some music by some MAGA people. The video is, you're missing out on the video a little bit, so, because that's actually where a lot of the magic is happening. Great collection of videos. Welcome to the show, you guys. Once again, oh yes, these are great pictures. I think this is shared on my page. Penny shared this on my page. So it's a fun little tune made in the USA by the BG Band. Great picture of Melania when she was younger. Alright, let's spread this out. There we go. I like fading out on the chorus. I like fading out on the chorus. So we kind of get some good stuff. Hey, Mary, how's it going? Hey, Joe, how's it going? You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you're watching the show, please click share. You are watching, of course, in case you didn't know, Trump Talk US, carefully backwards written letters, Trump Talk US, so that you can read it. We have a lot to talk about today, so do click share so we can bring some people on into the group. Because the president has been busy. Oh, there's been some good tweets. Do y'all follow the president at Real Donald Trump? Y'all follow the president. I want to make sure everyone on this broadcast, do you have Twitter? Are you following your president? Because this is the main way, okay, that you can get the information from our president. Little Trumpy isn't going to whisper it to you in your sleep, you guys, okay? No, tell him, Little Trumpy. No, he's not going to do that. You have to get it from the president on Twitter, on Facebook a little bit too. He's doing pretty good Facebook, but seriously, Twitter's where it's at. Twitter is where it's happening. So I hope you all are following at Real Donald Trump. Also, while you're at it, why don't you follow the White House and at POTUS, and why not follow at FLOTUS? Follow Melania too. Why not? Who doesn't want to follow Melania? Jason, you were banned. I get it. You see, now this is the problem. This is the problem with you guys who want to fight on Twitter. You can't then listen to the president because they ban you. My suggestion about Twitter, don't fight on Twitter, you guys. I rarely fight it. When someone says something to me, I might one snarky comment back. If it's a polite debate, we might go back and forth a little bit, but then block. Boom. Block. You're gone. You're off my Twitter. I don't have time for that. And that's how I have almost 24,000 followers. So maybe my method works. Hey, Hareem, how's it going? My boy Hareem. You were up late. I saw you live last night. You were riled up and patriotic, my friend. Riled up. I love him. You know, if y'all watch Hareem's lives, which I'm sure y'all do, he gets so passionate sometimes, and it just is like he's like a wave of patriotism that just washes over you. It's very refreshing. It's very refreshing to watch. So, President Trump tweeting great things. Now, if y'all were following, love you too, Herb. You know I love you with all my heart. There are so many people in this movement that I consider my brothers and sisters. And we are a family. We're a family of refounders taking this country back. This is why we do the little show, you know, so I can kind of encapsulate for you what I think the news is about, what I think we should be focused on. Maybe keep this movement, you know, organized so we can make America great again. Right? We want to get this done, right? We didn't just like put a bunch of slogans on our t-shirt and then like we're just going to walk around with t-shirts that we never live up to, right? We actually want to make America great again, right? See how this is backwards? You see how this is forwards? That's the skill of writing backwards. I just want to point that out. All right. So let's talk a little bit about President Trump's tweet in North Korea. His North Korea tweet. Oh my gosh. This is what I love about my president is he understands the ability to operate international relations in 140 characters or less. Do you understand the skill? Do you guys understand the skill? President Trump understands that you get more leverage from North Korea by standing strong against their bombast than you do by caving. And so he tweeted back, Little Kim, Little Rocket Man tweeted that he has the nuclear button, blah, blah, blah. And Trump is like, well, yeah, I got a bigger nuclear button and mine works. Somebody should let him know in his starved regime. It's brilliant. It was an epic takedown. Spike Spike Jones. Which the one with the movie? Anyway, the insult guy. He would have made a whole movie with this title of this insult. It was so perfect. The tweet was such a perfect takedown of Little Kim's tweet. And letting him know, we're serious. We're very serious in this country. We're not going to take your threats lightly. Hey, Jared, how's it going? We're not going to take your threats lightly. And we know you're bullshit. That's the other thing this tweet says. This is what I love about my president. If you've ever been in a fight with a bully, if you've ever been engaged in an argument with somebody who's kind of a jerk, that, or just watch enough John Wayne movies, sometimes standing up to him, being a little bit of a jerk back. Oh, yes. Maybe it's the other one, whoever, the movie maker. I forget. He's a horrible communist guy. I don't know. That's why I don't remember these people's names. But it's just a reference in the moment that I could use. So, too much stuff stored up here in this brain. Too much stuff. Thank you, TV. Thank you, 70s TV. So, here's what our president is. Spike Lee, that's the one. So, here's my president. Here's what my president is able to do. He understands that you stand up to North Korea, and by letting them know where the boundaries are, you actually are accomplishing more than by appeasement. And so, everyone's freaked out about the tweet. The liberals are losing sleep right now because they think that Trump is going to get us into a nuclear war. All right. It's not going to happen, you guys. Not to worry, in part because right now we see North Korea negotiating, sending out overtures to want to begin high-level talks with North Korea. Yeah, Gary, he totally is. I utterly agree. That's why I did not remember. Oh my gosh. Hey, Lori, how's it going? Yeah. Well, and we're going to talk about that in a second because Al Franken left, and then we have something else that's worse. I'm sure worse. We haven't figured it all out yet, but we'll find out why she's worse. Now, the Mary the Freak Out part is the part that's fun. And yes, some Trumpers, you know what? The nervous Trumpers. Jared, we talked about the nervous Trumpers. I think we talked about that earlier. The nervous Trumpers. But you guys, okay, these nervous people, they're going to be nervous no matter what. They're just nervous. They're just inherently, naturally nervous. So everything Trump does is going to make them panic. Everything, he's like, oh, he's talking bad about the establishment. That can't be good. Oh, he's calling out the fake news. That can't be good. Oh, he's tweeting about somebody. They freak out about everything. And then you're like, why are you freaking out? Aren't you a Trump supporter? And they're like, oh, I love my president. And you're like, well, you freak out a lot for somebody who loves the president. Like most of the people who I know who love the president don't freak out this much. But maybe I know some good, maybe I know some calm Trumpers. Or maybe we all talk to each other and say, hey, are you freaking out? No, don't freak out. Be calm. We keep each other calm. I don't know what it is. All I know, I'm not freaking out. So these nervous Trumpers, Jared, who freak out about everything, I don't think we can help them. I think they have problems with their own nervousness. That's what I think. So be nervous. Be nervous. So now maybe some Xanax might help them. If you're all in California, they just legalized the marijuana, so maybe you have that choice. Calm down. They don't want him to. No, Jared, this is the thing. There's a bunch of conservatives, and not all the conservatives. There's a bunch of wise conservatives, I'm going to say, that are able to understand what the president is doing. Okay? And then there's some conservatives, and they're very traditional conservatives, and we brought them in on the movement because we have a reasonable agenda to make this country great. They're patriotic. They love this country. We love this country. So we've brought on a lot of conservatives, but they're used to the traditional way of doing things. And Trump doesn't do it traditional, so he gets them nervous. And Mary Gilliland, and she says, look, to be honest, I used to freak out at his tweets. I quit freaking out Mary early on, even in the campaign. Like the first few tweets, I'm like, is this how this is going to go? Because this could be good. If this is what we're going to do. And then I learned quickly on, like early on in the campaign, I learned, oh no, that's what he's going to do. And here's what's going to happen. It would kill any other person to have tweeted that. It would destroy their political aspirations. It would destroy their campaign. Trump, not so much. Not so much. he was Teflon. And by noticing that he is Teflon, I started to get calm. And then I started to get that excitement when he would tweet. I would start to see the purpose of the tweet itself. Why did he tweet that? Oh, to troll the media, to to set the tone of a conversation publicly, whatever it is. It took a minute to get used to. I get used to things fast. It takes other people longer. And frankly, it's part of the reason we do the show. It's one of the reasons I want to be able to share with people, to share my calm and experience, because maybe that helps other people who are freaking out go, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe don't freak out. Maybe just relax. Because actually this is great. North Korea is now, let's talk about what's happening, because we have a president who doesn't just cave. The strength, you stand up to a bully, the strength of standing up to a bully. I know, you love the tweets, right? The strength, he stands back up to him. That exhibition of strength is actually respected by men in the world. I think the feminists have deluded us, is what really the problem is because they've taught us, like, oh, don't act manly. That doesn't do anything. What? Are you kidding me? No, there is a code of conduct between men, and you don't wuss out and go, oh yeah, whatever you want. No man respects that. You say, watch me now. Well, swing if you want to. I'm happy to swing back. Our button is bigger. To be fair, our button is bigger. Hey Mark, how's it going? Welcome from Chicago. How's the weather out there? Still cold? Are you still got that dash in front of the number? Whew, dash. Anytime the number has a dash in front of it, you got to concern yourself. So now North Korea, because we have stood up to them and we're like, we're not taking your crap. North Korea reaching out to South Korea to have high-level talks about de-escalating military action. They want to be involved in the Winter Olympics. They want a little Olympic cash is what they want. But this is what I'm saying. We've started to create inroads and leverage, and all of that is possible because little Kim was like, oh, let's poke the bear, and the bear went, no, we ain't doing it. You're sending me a link as media. Okay, yeah, Mark, whatever that, definitely do that, whatever you're sending me. Yes, I have not yet registered. I called though, Mark. I thought you were calling. I called and they said, the registration for press is not yet, but I'm going to call again this week to find out exactly when. But I did call like a week or so ago before Christmas, and they said that it was going to be, later in the month. So I'm going to call again. And, yes, definitely do that because I do definitely want to be at CPAC. And I have been following up on that, but thank you for reminding me because I need to keep doing that. So, very, very, hi Lisa, how's it going? Very, 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 very exciting stuff to see what Trump is doing with North Korea because he's finally standing up to, perfect, it's open now, I registered last night. Boom, on it. Hareem, are you coming? Are you coming out to CPAC? Hareem goes everywhere. I merely ask because you never know where Hareem is going to be. So he literally somehow manages to just scoop himself up and end up in other parts of the world in the country. He's down on the border. Hareem, you're kicking butt everywhere. So I never know where you're going to be. And that's actually exciting. There's a lot of people in this movement doing a lot of work. The same thing with Kyle Chapman. We all know Kyle. You never know where Kyle's going to be. And the poor guy, he's on the watch list. He can't get on a plane. He has to get there like 5 hours early to even get on a plane. So, yeah, I'm trying to home base it here in DC, Hareem. I'm trying to, hold the fort over here in DC is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hold the fort. I got it. We're doing all right. I'm holding the fort. We're building some big things. I got a lot of lines in the water to help this movement move forward. And so we got some big things coming down the pike. So I'm really excited about the leverage that Donald Trump is exhibiting over North Korea and what that may work into talks with South Korea. You notice we've been down to South Korea. We've been having very close relations with South Korea. And so if the North is willing to talk to the South, we're talking to the South. You see, that's how the work gets done. And we're doing some great things. Even with the tweet he said against China, it was like, hey, China, you don't seem like you're helping. In 140 characters, my president can bend international policy. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely great. Yeah, I know, Lori. A patriot can't get on a plane, but Bergdahl and Manning are free to. I know. And poor Julian can't leave. Julian Assange can't leave the embassy. And we got Snowden still running around in Russia because he can't do anything, right? I mean, it's all wrong. It's all wrong. We had achieved a point in this country, and I think many of you will agree with me, where it felt like we were living in bizarre world. Did it feel like that to you? Did it feel like you were living in bizarre world? Like everything was the opposite of what it should be. Like we're sexualizing children when we should be protecting children. We're demonizing freedom and freedom of speech when we should be protecting it. Like everything was just the opposite always. And the liberals, they just went more and more to opposite land. They used to have some things that made sense. Like let's have freedom of speech and let's have freedom of action. We should legalize marijuana. We should legalize things that we don't want the government telling us what to do. I'm like, yeah, I'm a libertarian. I'm with you. I don't want the government telling me what to do. But then you know what? They went opposite land. They went utterly opposite land. They're like, you know what? We need the government to tell everybody what to do. And I went, what? No. We don't want the government to tell us what to do. And they went totally like, no, we got to get the government to force everybody to do what we say. What? Are you crazy? This is what we came up with. So we were living in bizarre world. And now we're finally living in a world where things are starting to make sense again. Manly strength, standing up to North Korea is working again. Being, situationally aware of the situation, making wise decisions is working again. We're saying Merry Christmas. We're returning to school choice. It's starting to come back. The liberals are still upside down, literally upside down. The blood has rushed all to their brains. That's why they don't make any sense and they're deluded. It's the blood. They were so upside down for so long. The blood has rushed entirely to their brains and they're delusional. They're absolutely delusional. Yeah, totally. Also, great. Thank you, Mark. Now, let's talk a little bit about, so I'm just saying, with the North Korea thing going forward, we're going to see some interesting things. And now that they're talking to South Korea, that's actually where we're getting in. So while your liberal friends are freaking out that Trump has created a nuclear war situation, don't worry. We've actually engaged in talks. We've actually engaged North Korea in a way that will encourage talks. And we are actually in the ear of South Korea. South Korea is somebody we're working closely with. And so that direct communication with North and South Korea, that's what we want. That's the best solution. This whole getting China to put pressure. My mouth just decided to not work. This whole getting China to put pressure on North Korea, that's a great method, but that's really our number 2 method. The main number 1 method that we would all prefer is for North and South Korea to be able to communicate with each other in peace and develop some kind of lasting relationship that opens up North Korea to more modernity and less communist isolation, less stupid ideas, and less militarization. So that talk actually is what we've always wanted, communication on the peninsula. So our number 2 idea didn't work, so we're going to go with number 1. Great plan. I love what my president is doing. Jason, we talked about DACA yesterday. Now, everybody's freaked out about this. Not yesterday, maybe the day before. But I'll mention it again because you bring it up. Because it's a good point. I want to keep making this point for people to absorb. Because it's so important. President Trump tweeted to the Democrats about DACA. Saying that there is no talking on DACA until they talk about funding the wall and ending chain migration. As I think sanctuary cities might even be a component of that debate. Now, as I've said, Trump is not giving in to DACA. You guys keep thinking this. There's a bunch of people that keep thinking this, and I keep explaining to you that's not what's happening. It's how you negotiate. So let me try to explain the negotiation point again, okay? The Democrats put up what we call a non-starter. Non-starter. You have to have DACA. Well, we know no one on the right is going to accept DACA. Here's Jason right here. No DACA. No. Right. They know it's a non-starter. Now, what do you do? What do you do when you negotiate a non-starter? When somebody in your negotiation goes, well, we're going to do this. we'll just take that non-starter off the table. That's what we did with Jerusalem, okay? That's exactly what we did by moving the capital to Jerusalem, and Trump just tweeted about it just the other day. In our negotiations with the Palestinians, one point of contention has always been the status of Jerusalem. So you know what? We just took that point of contention off the table. Boom. All right, well, too bad. Jerusalem is the capital. And we're going to move our embassy there. So that's off the table. Now let's start our negotiation from a different platform. Trump is doing the same thing with the Democrats. Doing the same thing with the Democrats. So they said DACA. And Trump said, oh, that's your non-starter? Your non-starter is a non-starter until my non-starters. And he said, the wall, ending chain migration, things that the Democrats are never, ever going to agree with, not one time. Okay? So what Trump did in responding to their non-starter was put up his own non-starter. This clears the negotiating table. Hey, Kim, how's it going? Harim, you feel me? This clears the negotiating table. When you go, well, here, I'm not going to talk unless you do this. And I go, I'm not going to do that unless you do this. Now we agree. We are at nowhere. We have come to an agreement now. We've now evened the playing field, because you tried to be like, I'm not going to do anything you say. And I went, I'm not going to do anything you say either. Now we're in agreement again. Well, we're at an even spot. We're starting at the same point. The Democrats want to be intractable. They want to be impossible. They want to do things that make it impossible for us to move forward. We're going to respond in kind. Trump doesn't need them, for one. And secondly, by putting them in there, by letting them know your non-starter is a non-starter, we're actually in the process of negotiation. Trump is not caving on DACA. Okay? And frankly, y'all worry way too much about a very small percentage. I'm certain, as I've said, we're going to sort through all of these dreamers, figure out the ones that aren't doing well, figure out the ones that are criminal, figure out the ones that led misleading information to even get in the program. We're going to sort all that out. Do a few people end up staying because we get the Democrats to do what we want? Yeah, but I don't think we need to get the Democrats to do what we want. What we need to do is keep them distracted, doing what they think they can do. And we do what we need to do. Trump's busy doing that. And frankly, that's why he gives, we all have to start to understand a little bit more. Trump has to negotiate with the other side. And by negotiate, it doesn't mean cave. Negotiate does not mean I'm giving in to the other side. It means engaging in the art of the deal with the other side. What we haven't had in a long time is somebody who knows how to negotiate, understands how to negotiate from a position of strength. Somebody who actually understands the art of negotiation. You start from a position of strength, and then you give a little, and then you get a little, and you give a little, and you get a little. But by being the first giver and the first getter, you actually control the position of power. It's all a mental power game with your negotiating opponent. And that's exactly what Trump is capable of. We have to remember that and note that that's happening. We have to notice that that's happening. Mark, I so agree with you. And he says they need to stop calling illegal aliens dreamers. I'm open to something, but dreamers is code word for amnesty. Yes, they're not dreamers. And I use the term dreamer because that's what the news uses. Unfortunately, it's so hard to keep forming new language because they keep messing us up with putting the language in there. So you're so right. We need a way to make the word dreamers, like, we have it in there, but we add a snarky bit to it, like the non-dreamers, the not my dreamers, like something. We need a way to tweak it, because I've noticed that when you brand words, when you create cliche phrases, you tweak it a little bit, then we can get, yes, the legal term is illegal aliens. And I like that. But, also, to be fair, people are like, oh, well, that's like aliens from outer space. I'm like, well, they're illegal too. I mean, they weren't born here either. It actually is a nightmare, and it's a nightmare for everybody, Kim. But I want everyone to be very clear. This is very important to understand. When Trump talks about, there's no talking about DACA until X and X, he's not caving. He's negotiating. Please stop with the worrying about the DACA and Trump is caving. Please stop. Don't worry. Do not worry. Donald Trump is not in any way about to cave on some illegal immigrants. It's not going to happen. Y'all got to calm down. So let's talk a little bit about Al Franken. Al Franken has actually resigned. Yeah, I know lawbreakers. I like invaders, you know, like maybe we can give them like a fake like a super villain name, you know, like teen invaders or something. I don't know. The problem is that most of them, so they were brought here as children, but a lot of them that was 16 and they weren't brought here as children. They're just here. And we all remember the huge wave of unaccompanied minors. Yeah. Not a good thing. None of this is a good thing. One of the main reasons we need to make sure that border is secure. And frankly, here's the real problem, you guys. We got coyotes, and Harim will tell you this all day long because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. We have coyotes. We have human smugglers who take money for bringing people across the border, and then they harass you. They rape you. They make you bring drugs. They use you as mules. They blackmail your family on both sides of the border. It's horrible. We cannot. That's funny, Penny. We cannot continue to tolerate this kind of treatment, particularly if they're going to send unaccompanied minors. It's bad enough, you guys. It's bad enough. We have grown men and women going through the process of getting engaged with these coyotes and getting smuggled across the border and exploited horribly, raped, sexually trafficked. This is happening to children. Sorry, it gets me really upset. It hurts. And I get in arguments with liberals, and I get really mad at them because they want to talk to me about open borders. I'm like, well, so you just want to let children be raped by drug cartels as they're dragged across the border with drugs. That's what you're saying. That's what open borders people are saying. So let me breathe. It gets me a little riled up. Yeah. The other conversation is so true. Exactly, Nancy. Exactly what I'm talking about. So Al Franken is left. He's going to go. I don't know what he's going to do. He says he's going to still be a voice. But here's the thing. He's being replaced by the Lieutenant Governor, Tina Smith. Now, we all got to do some research on who Tina Smith is. This Tina Smith, Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, is it not? And here's the other thing. We got Michelle Bachmann trying to run for his seat. Okay. Now, Mark will recall, Mark's been with me since our Tea Party days, and Mark might recall this event. We were at a Tea Party event, and Michelle Bachmann had sent a representative to come talk to our Tea Party group to try to, get us all on the Bachmann train. We all want to support Michelle Bachmann. See, I'm a Tea Partier, not a Republican at the time. I was not a Republican. I was a Tea Party. Still a Libertarian. I've been a registered independent my whole life. This might be the first year I actually have to register as a Republican because I want to vote in the primaries here in Maryland. And it's a closed primary state. What are you going to do? It is what it is. So, now, the thing is, at Tea Party, this is the event. They sent this representative, and she was busy talking to us about Michelle Bachmann and how she was so for the Tea Party. But just earlier that week, Michelle Bachmann had mentioned on the news that social issues are fiscal issues. Now, one of the things about the Tea Party, if you don't know about the Tea Party was very focused on fiscal issues. We were fiscal conservatives, and we weren't as interested as a movement about the social issues. So we were about lower taxes, constitutionalism, the rule of law, very basic, simple premises of constitutional American government. That's what the Tea Party really was about. Reducing taxes, reducing the size and scope of government, and following the Constitution. Now, we weren't about social issues, but here's Michelle Bachmann. Social issues are fiscal issues. And then she comes to our meeting with her little representative, and they're telling us, Michelle Bachmann is such a Tea Partier. And I'm like, you know what? Excuse me. There was my hand. Raised my hand up. I said, excuse me. If Michelle Bachmann is such a Tea Partier, why did she say this? And I quoted, social issues are fiscal issues. Why did she say that? So we have to hold her accountable. So I got a little history in my mind about Michelle Bachmann. She likes to present herself as a limited government constitutionalist. She's kind of regular conservative. She's kind of still normal. I want the government to tell people what to do. I want to impose a lot of my Christian beliefs with the government. Now, I support people's Christian beliefs and their right to have those Christian beliefs. Interesting. Some people say, yes, the Lion Party. We get to the point. I love when you get to the point when you're watching viewers, when you finally start to get some trolls. Because what's great about this show is that I have a lot of people who chime in regularly, and we really enjoy the conversations. And then, you get to a certain point and you get weird comments, and so if I pause and look like this, it's just me reading somebody's strange comment I did not understand and wondering if they are a troll. Now, so Michelle Bachmann wants to run for Al Franken seat. Look, anybody's better than, I'm sure, this Tina Smith liberal. What is this? The governor isn't going to appoint a replacement for Al Franken that isn't worse than Al Franken. This is what I'm trying to tell you. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this. The Democrats have a deeper bench. Okay? The minor leagues for the Democrats minor leagues, the people they have in lieutenant governor's offices and all across the country, they got a lot of people embedded in. And if they want to bring up, yes, exactly, Fred, thank you. If they want to bring up some of these, minor league Democrats, they've been hiding a lot of their real lefty people in the minor leagues. So we're going to have to parse out some of these individuals, because what we're going to find is a lot of these lower level Democrats have a lot of connections, probably with organized fascist, neo-fascist organizations like Antifa and BAM and other groups, because that's what they were using the minor leagues for, is to keep, to raise funds, to get this money in, to connect with these radical groups that can, they can control that left agenda. They control that left side of the political spectrum, make sure those left voters vote for them. So these are the people that they have interacting with those groups. So they're going to send up some crazy people. We got to hunt down who this Tina Smith is. They're going to keep doing this to us. They're going to replace people we know how to fight with people we don't know, and we don't know how to fight. So it is what it is. Now, so that minor league swamp idea, let's do some research. All of us, do your part, get in there. Start getting an idea of who this Tina Smith woman is and how we oppose her. Even if I'm sure Michelle Bachmann is better than that. But now, I wanted to talk about this a little bit because we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Let's talk about it again a little bit today. We need to support our MAGA candidates. I say this all the time. Okay? It is important to support our MAGA candidates because we want to try to replace some of these rhinos. I say that all the time. Here's the secondary thing it's important to understand. Even if we fail, okay, to replace the rhinos and we're stuck with our establishment people yet again, just running the primaries, just engaging in the political process puts pressure on these establishment candidates to enact the agenda that we elected Trump for. So it is so important to move forward in all aspects of trying to manage the Republican Party as the Trump movement. The Trump movement needs to move forward in all aspects of getting our agenda pushed through, both in electing candidates that genuinely hold our values and come from within the movement. Great. But also by running those primaries, by running those candidates, putting pressure on the existing establishment. We're only going to be able to drain so much of the swamp, but we can put a lot of pressure and force some of these individuals, swamp creatures, to operate how we choose. At some point, old movies, at some point, maybe we could befriend the swamp creatures and, they could be part of our gang or posse. Isn't there Johnny Quest, something like that? Anyway. You guys get the idea. We're going to have to put pressure, both by the possibility of outing them, but outing them of office, getting them out of office, but also just by making them spend money and time and effort defending themselves. And when they defend themselves, what they'll realize is that they have to, how you get the voters from the other guy is promising to do what the other guy was running there for. If we're running MAGA candidates, the solution is to go, well, I'll do what you guys want. I'll vote with the president. I support the president too. Vote for me. We're forcing them into more and more of a presidential supportive position by running primaries. And frankly, by then doling out our support for responsiveness, you see. We can manipulate and operate this government. This is a government by, of, and for the people. Never, 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 never forget that. Never forget that. In fact, if I have learned anything about our government and about President Trump, if President Trump has given me any opportunity to learn anything, it is actually how great what the founders gave us really is. How structurally sound the system the founders actually gave us. And if we put the effort in and we do the homework and we do the work, we are actually so immensely, immensely, immensely capable of operating this government. Patty asks, how are your feelings of Romney running for governor? Oh my gosh. Why won't Mitt Romney go away? Yeah, that's my feeling. My feelings is really, is it even necessary? I mean, is the governor of the state he's in already Republican? I don't feel we need Mitt Romney unless it's for an emergency red situation. Like, we just can't find any other Republican in the world. Like, literally, we have searched the world over, and all we've found is Democrats. We'll use Mitt Romney. He's all that we've got. That's the only time I think we should use Mitt Romney, okay? He's the last option on earth. The last Republican option. He's literally the last one, okay? I know, Patricia. I'm also constantly amazed. Constantly amazed. Go, Penny. Go and come back. Go and come back. That was good. I threw a little song. Y'all know the no hee-haw. So I just like mixed that in there. That was great. So, yeah. What are you going to do? Hopefully Mitt Romney will realize he's getting no support and he'll move on and put his support behind other candidates. That's one of the things we can always do, you guys. We can always write, email, and pressure these candidates to put their support behind the candidates we want. There's nothing stopping you from writing letters, making phone calls. There's nothing stopping any of us from writing letters, making phone calls to any of these people. Especially with social media now, there's nothing. Vernon, there are most of them. I can't name the entire Congress. There's like, what, 435 people in Congress if you count the senators. It's like 535. So, in all of Congress, the House, 435. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people up there. A lot of them are swamp monsters. A lot. The vast majority. Some swampier than others, okay? Paul Ryan, what is going on with that? Paul Ryan, brutal. Brutal. I will mention this a little bit. I know, as we've talked in the past, Paul Nehlen is running against Paul Ryan in Wisconsin, and it appears that some of the people in the movement have gotten a little bit freaked out about the attacks that have been going on against Paul Ryan. Basically, he's being smeared by the leftist media for being a white supremacist, and some of the people in the movement kind of did that glom on thing with the media. Now, you guys, let me just say, to the people in the movement who have experienced being called racist, white supremacist, all for making the point that being white is being treated as a bad thing, and saying things like it's okay to be white. Oh my gosh. What? Okay. They've all been attacked for that. Now, we got Paul Nehlen attacked for basically the same thing, and y'all are jumping in on it. Now, I just, as a person in the movement, and I stand by this, and I will always stand by this, I won't infight with you. I'm not infighting in this movement. If I don't like what you're doing in the movement, and I don't think what you're doing is helping me, here's what I'm going to do, okay? I see you on my phone, I'm doing this, I'm like, I scroll by. I let you, and if it gets really bad, you know, this new thing, snooze for 30 days. I just snooze you, okay? And don't engage. We've all been called a racist, Jared, a million times. I was called racist in multiple newspapers. So, this is the thing. We've all been called that. Why we would not back each other up in any situation, I don't know. But there are some people who want to swing right. Maybe it gets them more clicks. Maybe it gets them more views. I don't know what it is. I'm not doing it. I'm not swinging right anytime. This is why I haven't mentioned any names of the people who I think are doing things that I'm not a fan of, because I'm not swinging right. Not trying to attack my fellow Trumpers. We have it bad enough with the establishment and the Democrats and Antifa. We're literally risking our lives out here. Hareem knows, for real. Risking our lives out here, trying to make this country great again. I'm not swinging at people who are wearing my same uniform. Just not happening, okay? So if you're on my side, I ain't swinging. I will scroll by, I will block you, and move on, and not talk about you, and just don't worry about what you're doing. Because I'm not the idea that some people are making us look bad. We already look bad to everybody. Okay, everybody who doesn't agree with us, we already look bad to. They already think we're literally Nazis, you guys. So who are we worried about looking bad to? Who? Everybody who already thinks badly of us? Stupid. I'm not worried about making us look bad. I'm not worried about the divided movement. When it comes down to it, everybody's going to show up and vote for Trump again in 2020. When it comes down to it, we're going to get behind these candidates. We're going to keep doing our job. It's our job to just keep iterating what the job is and not worry about fighting with each other and talking about who's doing the right thing or who's doing the wrong thing. That's not for me to decide. As long as you are supporting my president, okay? As long as you are going to show up and vote and you're doing stuff that makes other people want to show up and vote for the president, great. Fine. Do it. And I'm not also one of these people who are like, oh, we can't have people voting for us who hold beliefs we don't agree with. What? Well, we can't have, like, you know, with the Richard Spencers of the world, we can't have them on our side. It makes us look bad. I don't care. I don't care. Look, everybody has the right to vote, even if I viciously disagree with their politics and I think they're a horrible racist. They still have a right to vote. That is the country the founders gave us, you guys. Which is why I think Al Sharpton also has the right to vote, although I think he's a raging racist. Huge racist. Al Sharpton is a horrible word. Yes, I will call Al Sharpton a racist. Al Sharpton a racist to his face. He's such a racist. Still has the right to vote. Still has the right to participate in the country. It's the country we were given. It is what it is. So, and if that's the case, I'd rather have them voting for my President Trump than voting for the other side. Okay? Because I want the vote. Does that make me a bad person because I actually think it's okay that David Duke votes for our side if he wants to? I'm not going, David, you must bring your white supremacist wisdom over to our side. No, I think he's an idiot. I think white supremacy is stupid. I'm not a separatist. I don't believe in believing one race is better than another. I believe in cosmopolitanism and that all people have the opportunity. We have potential within us regardless of skin color. And that's what America is great about, is it doesn't matter what you look like here. It's the content of your character that really matters. The effort, the skill, the passion, the belief. That's what matters. That's why I'm an American. That's why I'm an American patriot, because I believe in the melting pot. But I also don't mind if David Duke votes for my president. I'll take the vote. Thank you. And if other patriots don't agree with that, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. Scroll on. My personal opinion. Now, I hate when the thing is okay, great. Find good candidates. Note yourself goals. Find good candidates. Contact candidates for campaigns. Hold rallies. Hold rallies for new candidates. Say MAGA and go to bed. Yeah, remember to rest, you guys. Remember to get some rest. I hope this so much too. For you're so true. I hope the POTUS puts a stop to the ELD mandate. Yes, and it's going to get worse. The ELDs, the electronic log mandate is awful, and it does nothing for it. The ongoing slide towards this Big Brother trucking mentality that actually doesn't do anything for getting our goods from one point to another, but it has lowered the quality of drivers significantly, which puts us all more at risk. Gary, you have a great afternoon. It's not doing us any good, and it continues to not do us any good, and I'm hoping that it's one of the things that we can get Trump to rectify and reduce the regulations on. But that is a great segue, my friend, because Trump has been kicking butt on deregulation this year so hard. So proud of my president. It's one of the things I'm most proud of my president about is the deregulation that he has been engaging in and conducting in this country. How much deregulation he's done, both in executive order, direct deregulation, as well as deregulation by choosing heads of departments that are then shrinking regulations within these various departments, the EPA, the Department of Education. We could go on and on and on, and all the departments that Trump has put people in that are shrinking the size of government and regulations in their industry. So, I think that's the Department of Transportation. Who has Trump appointed for the head of that? Is the Trump appointee? This is some research I might have to do a little bit to figure out who we might nudge. Because Trump is very busy and we can always get the support of the POTUS, but if we can also get support of the head of that department and start to connect with them as Trump supporters, I think that might be a great thing. Just as if we were talking about an educational problem, I would say, let's call Betsy. We can't get Trump on it right away. He's busy. Let's call Betsy. Betsy DeVos. Let's get on it. So we might need to figure out who is the head. I believe that's a Department of Transportation issue. So I'm going to do some research in between everything else I'm trying to get done. We'll do it. Y'all, feel free to help some research, post it on my page. Oh, Elaine Chow. Great. Oh, she's good. Yeah, we should, we should, I'll find her Twitter, see if she has a Twitter. We'll see if we can find some contact information for her. Now, so it's been a great year of deregulation. Trump has done some amazing things already, deregulating both, like I said, directly and within the agencies themselves. We have done some massive deregulation in the energy industry, which is so huge. And you guys have no idea the kind of boon that opening up energy production in this country will create for manufacturing, for individuals. The more coal, natural gas, the more energy we can produce as a nation and bring down the overall costs of access to energy, the more we can produce. Okay, there's a direct correlation between the cost of energy and the cost of goods produced. A direct correlation. If energy costs this much, it costs this much to make a widget. Straight up. So, if energy costs less, it costs less to make a widget. This is the kind of thing that brings manufacturing back. When you say to a manufacturing company, it's one of the things that sent manufacturing overseas, in addition to high taxes, high regulatory costs, high cost of energy, because Obama was suppressing energy production viciously in this country, you guys, viciously. Obama was suppressing energy production in the coal industry. He was suppressing energy in the national energy production in the oil and natural gas energy. He was cutting back drilling. He was limiting drilling in every way possible. And I said, oh, there's all this new drilling only on private land. President Obama literally had shut down all public land, any activity that was producing energy on public land, or any permits that he was offering energy producers to actually access that land and get out the oil, the resources, the coal, whatever. He had shut that all down. The coal industry was nearly devastated. Trump's opened that all back up. And he's done a good thing, even in the last few days of December, has opened up regulations. Now we all know that Obama opposed fracking immensely, and got the left to like climate change, but a lot of false information and misinformation about fracking. We all know about the movie they made about fracking that falsely claimed that people were able to light, the reason that people were able to light their faucets on fire was because of fracking, when in fact, it had nothing to do with fracking. It had to do with the way the water and the land was actually operating. It had nothing to do with the fracking process. And there were, in fact, vicious regulations already on fracking. Yep, wouldn't issue any permits to drill. Obama was the worst energy president of all time. So, they basically spread a lot of false information about fracking, saying it's so unregulated, it's completely dangerous we could create seismic rifts in the planet and break the planet up. I mean, they went crazy. When in fact, fracking is highly regulated. Yes, exactly. And set up the government to own all the, yes. This is how Obama operated. He cut the ability of private industry to make energy, took as much land as he could, and then controlled that land for the federal government. It was awful. I mean, he was such a monarch in his behavior, the way he acted towards the land that we live on, the people that own that land, and what we should be doing with it. So President Trump has taken those Obama regulations that basically were making it next to impossible to do any fracking at all. Hi, John, how's it going? Next to impossible to do any fracking at all due to these very onerous and expensive regulations that Obama imposed basically to suppress the fracking industry entirely. My president has removed them. They're gone. Now we are back to the normal safety regulations for fracking, environmental regulations for fracking. We are now back to the basic structure, and fracking is going to be something that has now become more and more possible across the country, which is phenomenal when you are aware that Trump has also opened up the ability to export natural gas. So it's one of the great things that we've done. We've offered nations like Poland, a lot of European nations, an external option other than Russia to get their natural gas, to get their energy supplies from USA. 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 We've done that by Donald Trump removing the inhibitions for exporting natural gas and oil and coal and all. We had continued. Great, Hareem, come on back whenever you get a chance. I know businesses, Patriot stuff, got to keep getting done, right? So Obama had made that horrible, made it ridiculously expensive for any of those energies to be produced, and was basically at a full-on war on fossil fuels. And Trump has reversed that entirely. Now that is part of the 3-phase, and it might even be 4-phase resurgence of American manufacturing, of American business. Okay, so we've seen the first one. We've seen the deregulation phase has made a huge boon in our economy. That's what we see the stock market booming. That's why we see the jobs coming back. This deregulation phase is doing great. The energy boom phase is going to be a whole other phase that boosts up our business and our economy, as will the results of the tax phase. We're right now in the honeymoon of the tax. Oh, this is going to happen? Great. Businesses are offering bonuses. They're doing some hiring. They're doing some investment because they see down the road their costs are going to come down. Awesome. This energy boon, which has just begun, you guys, because we're just barely getting these regulations out of place. We're just barely getting in to be able to drill in these areas. We just opened up Anwar with the tax bill. 2018 is going to be the year of American energy, and it's going to be an amazing boon to our economy, but also to our manufacturing base, to our business base, to people running businesses, running manufacturing here, because the cost of energy being lower is certainly going to entice people to come and put their businesses here in the United States. And that is a great thing. So the winning that Donald Trump is building up down the future, huge, 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 huge. As Denise told me, we're going to start seeing our paychecks increase due to the tax cuts sometime in February, I'm told. I'm not a tax preparer, but Denise Ledbetter is, and so she tries to keep me informed on what's happening. And I try to stay informed, because that's what I do. And that's our show. It's 2:00, you guys. Thanks for tuning into the show. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. I love when I see my patriots, my fellow patriots, chiming in, and we have a great conversation. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to have some more news tomorrow. I'm sure Trump's going to tweet something. Makes everybody freaked out. So let's listen to a little jam. Little jam. Thank you, Benny, for sharing. Denise totally rocks, you guys. I totally agree. Patty, she's the best. That's my sister right there. If you had something bad to say about Denise Ledbetter, I might punch you in the face just for saying something bad about her. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Deontay. Hey, maybe Deontay will come in. Let's pause here. Maybe Deontay will come in for a minute. Let's add Deontay in for a minute. He's coming on in. I love when Deontay chimes in for just a second.
Hey.
Deontay, how are you? You caught at the end.
I know.
You slipped right into the door. It was like it's like Indiana Jones of live feeds. You just whoosh, right into the door. Grab your hat, and you're ready to go. So I know you're working hard. You got your working clothes on. What are you doing today?
Just it's always making America great again and making the Republican Party great again. and
Yeah.
just making life great. But I had to jump in because I don't know if you know, nice Make America Great Again
It's it's pink. It
shirt.
triggers the snowflake. It's their pink color. Like as you know, Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC, she has one of those nice pink pussy hats she wore in the little race she ran the other day. I might need to write her office and ask her if she's the mayor of all DC or just of the left DC. I might have to send her a little email. Muriel.
uh, hey, so did you see what I don't know if you I don't know what you've talked about yet, but you know President Trump and your buddy Steve Bannon.
No, we didn't talk about this. Well, let's have a little conversation about that.
They're head to head.
What did Steve Bannon do? What happened? What's up? Do you see how Zuckerberg doesn't want him to tell me this? Mm-hmm. Free Deontay. Free him. Let him speak to us. Hey, Henry Davis, how's it going? I love Henry. Henry, is a new song out. While Deontay's talking, maybe Henry will while Deontay's frozen, maybe Henry will Trump song coming out. He promised. Yep, Deontay has popped off. See, they froze him. There we go. Let's try. Let's see. Yeah, let's see if we can get Deontay. Yeah, yes. Ad for crying out loud. Facebook. I know, very convenient, right, Cam? Right. Wait a sec. Are you back? No, you can't hear me. I can't hear you either. Zuckerberg. Nope, I can't hear you either. Do it again. Yeah, no, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear Deontay. You are silent. Yeah, you see? You see? So, Henry's got a new song coming out, you guys. And I know he's supposed to drop it sometime. What, Thursday? It's today, right? You're dropping it. I'm really excited. I love Henry's song. Henry, if you don't know, we get riled up in the morning to you a lot. We get up, we turn on our Henry Davis, and we get riled up. We get excited. We're like, yes.
Okay, I think that works now.
There we go. Welcome back, Deontay. Welcome back.
So yeah.
So you were saying about Steve Bannon.
Yes, I'm gonna try to pull it up there. I'm gonna pull it up on the other phone here.
Okay. I love how he's sideways now.
Okay. So President Trump released a statement. It's a statement from the President of the United States. Steve Bannon
Is it on WhiteHouse.gov?
It's on Twitter.
Okay.
So of course Twitter is more accurate and factual.
I agree. I'm just asking if they put it up on the website.
You know how that goes. It says Steve Bannon has nothing to do with me or my presidency. When he was fired, he not only lost his job, he lost his mind. Steve was a staffer who worked for me after I had already won the nomination by defeating 17 candidates. Often described me as the most talented field ever assembled. Often described as the most talented field ever assembled in the Republican Party. Now that he's on his own, Steve is learning that winning isn't as easy as I make it look. Steve had very little to do with our historic victory, which was delivered by the forgotten men and women of this country. Yet Steve had everything to do with the loss of Senate seat in Alabama held for more than 30 years by Republicans. Steve doesn't represent my base. He's only in it for himself. Steve pretends to be at war with the media, which he calls the opposition party, yet he spends his time at the White House leaking false information to the media to make himself seem far more important than he was. It is the only thing he does well. Steve was rarely in a one-on-one meeting with me and only pretends to have had influence to fool a few people with no access or no clue, whom he helped write phony books. We have many great Republican members of Congress and candidates who are very supportive of the Make America Great Again agenda. Like me, they love the United States of America and are helping to finally take our country back and build it up rather than simply seeking to burn it all down. That is from the President of the United States to Steve
On
Bannon.
now he must have issued that in like a Facebook post
It's
or
like
like
a,
a long post because it's a huge Twitter.
you see
So it's
that?
not like a straight tweet.
It's a
It's
picture.
probably like
It's like
a link of in a photo. He did like a picture so he could share it.
yeah, pretty
Hmm.
much.
So what do you think precipitated this event,
Oh,
in your opinion?
well, Bannon.
Well, see, I kind of look at it like this, and we were actually it goes along with something we were saying earlier about infighting in the movement. I was actually talking about infighting in the movement, and we'll talk about it on the top level. It's I don't agree with how everybody wants to move forward and try to make America great again, but I also don't stop them from doing it. Now, I'm pretty sure no matter what the president says about Steve Bannon, he's going to be plowing forward at what he believes to be his vision for America and what he wants to make America into, because he's been doing that his whole life. So I'm kind of on the tip of the infighting might be more clickbait than it is. It might be more bark than bite, in my opinion.
Well, I think the problem is that we've realized that Steve Bannon is pretty much useless to the entire Republican Party. He's also useless to every Republican candidate in the country. He was useless to Judge Roy Moore. Judge Roy Moore probably would have won if Steve Bannon would have stuck his nose in it. And that's just my opinion. Obviously, everyone decided to their own opinion.
I don't. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. But see, that's what I was talking about as far as the infighting is concerned. It's like there are some people that I think the actions that they're taking are pretty nominal in their effectiveness. But in reality, it does take all the votes. It does take a large contingent of people. We do need to bring a lot. The Republicans couldn't win on their own. They needed the Libertarians and the conservative movement. Just like the conservatives can't win on their own, they need the Republicans and the establishment party to have a vehicle to do it with. So it's going to be an interesting marriage going forward. I suspect that
I'm going to say
Steve will
this.
do his work, and President Trump will continue to move on, trying to operate in a government of two parties.
I'm going to say this. And I know that a lot of your people are going to hate me for saying this.
A lot of my people already hate you, Dan. I'm just kidding.
They probably do. They probably do. They probably do.
They love you. Don't I lie? They all love. Everybody loves Deontay.
I don't think so.
All right, we'll be honest. Yeah. Some people do, and some people don't.
People with common sense do. But what's happening with Steve Bannon is the same thing that happened with Corey Stewart, and why President will not support Corey Stewart. They support the president, but at the end of the day, they're all for themselves. It's all about putting themselves in front of the media. It's all about putting themselves in front. It's all about giving themselves all the attention. I know the Corey Stewart supporters aren't going to like me saying this, but that's why Corey was fired in Virginia, is because he wanted to put himself in the forefront instead of promoting Trump. And if you notice, President Trump doesn't like when people promote themselves for more than him. That's why the mooch is no longer in the White House. Oh,
but do you follow do you follow Scaramucci on Twitter? I follow him all the time. And I would say that that's a guy. I'm so glad you brought up Scaramucci, because he's such a perfect example of what I'm saying, which is you still see Anthony Scaramucci working on his own levels to continue to operate. He actually supports the agenda, continues to support the president, and has moved on with his life and is continuing to help MAGA in the Moochie way. Now, is that a great way to connect with the presidency of the United States? No, I agree. That was a good move to maybe make those two things separate. But if you follow Scaramucci, even out of this day, he's still doing his thing. Now, does he want glamour and glory? There's a lot of people who want glamour and glory.
And that's one thing.
There's a lot of people on the Democrat side who does the same thing. Oh, yeah. Frankly, I think Al Franken, that's why he was a senator, is because his comedy career died.
This is the thing about it, is one thing that people have to learn about President Trump is that President Trump does not like to share the spotlight. He won't share the spotlight. He definitely won't share the spotlight with people that's on his team or on his staff. And so because of that, he will remove you if you're trying to take over the spotlight. And that's the problem with this. And let me say this. That's the problem with this administration. that is different from the Obama administration, that's different from the Bush administration, that's different from any other past administrations, is that you have way too many people in this administration that's trying to take publicity and fame. Look at Omarosa. She wanted to take that publicity and fame. Everyone wants to be seen. If you look at it this way, is that they're supposed to be making sure that the president looks good, not themselves.
Well, now let me explain to you why that is. I'll explain to you exactly why you have that kind of phenomenon. And it's not so much that the president wants to look good. It's that the president understands that if you are the leader, you follow the leader. If everybody's being the leader and nobody's following the leader, you have chaos and you don't have results.
Mm-hmm.
My president is a president of results, and so he knows you're going to get the best results when they're following his leadership rather than trying to branch out on their own, do their own crap. So now at the same time,
he didn't get 70.
Leader,
he didn't get.
Go ahead, say it again.
He didn't get 70 years old by being. He didn't get 70 years old by being crazy.
No, and he's certainly not crazy. It's actually a very smart move because it's results based. You want to make sure that leadership is being followed so that you can make sure that the results get achieved. Key. Now, here's the other thing that you need about results, and this is something that you learn over time and as you engage in jobs that you have and hiring people, you start to realize it's the quality of person that makes that goal possible. And as you bring quality people in, you also bring ambitious people in. People who have skills and are good at something often also have the psychological quality of ambition. So in any winning team, you're going to have that conflict of ego. And it can be on a baseball team, it can be on a bobsled team, it can be on a business team, it can be on a campaign, it can be on an administration. Now, that's not a sign to me ever that these people have something wrong with them because they're ambitious, they want to build themselves, they want to master and show who they really are as people and be the full manifestation of themselves. That's actually great. I want ambitious people in charge. I want people who are seeking hard to be the better version of themselves for whatever reason. Not everybody needs to be a saint. And frankly, government doesn't call saints. It calls egos. People who have egos are the people who go into government. So Trump has hired some people who have some egos. Does that have these moments where we have to sort out the egos and sometimes it's time to move on? Yes, and I never get worried. Just like I wasn't worried with Omarosa. I wasn't worried when Corey had to go. Corey Lewandowski, I mean. I don't get worried when Trump makes these decisions because I understand the process. You want people with strong egos and with strong ability, people who have ambition, because that's the kind of quality of people you need to get the job done. But you also want them to follow leadership. So the president has to balance that, and I think he's doing a great job, actually. And frankly, for some of the stuff that Steve Bannon might need to do going forward, it might be better that the president lets everybody know they're not connected.
Yeah, well, Steve Bannon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Steve Bannon had a full movie career about how we run the. If you look at some of the earlier Steve Bannon movies,
but now that he's not,
you should. We'll share them. You will see he's had a long career of actually trying to take this country back, and I don't think anything is going to stop him. In my personal opinion.
Now that Steve Bannon is not connected to the president, he won't have as much power. He won't have as much. He won't be welcomed in many more circles. But he will continue to keep whatever Breitbart gives him.
Well, this is the other thing you have to keep in mind is that Breitbart is a huge organization, and how he got to the position with President Trump is from his work through Breitbart and through that huge body of work that didn't change, and he's made movies and all these other things. I suspect we're going to see more of that, not less. And I suspect that some of this disconnection the president is doing with a lot of people has to do with financing, has to do with the ability for financing, has to do with how these people engage in their part of the movement. You know, we can't have, let's take Kyle Chapman, for example, base stick man. You know, we can't have people, we don't want Kyle Chapmans to run for office necessarily. We need some people who stand up to Antifa and are willing to hold a stick and go to jail. That's great because somebody has to stand up to the terrorism that's in the streets if police are going to stand down. The ideal situation is obviously political, to get the police to do their job. That's the ideal. So there are different people for different roles. Some of the dirty roles are what we see Bannon doing. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it all makes sense when you look
Okay.
at the big picture.
Big picture. Well, Suzzanne, it's always great.
Big
It's always
picture,
great to come
dude. Big
on.
picture. Oh, it's always good. No, and I
As
love that you
always,
bring
for
stuff
those.
that makes people think, Deontay. I love that you get people in there thinking. You don't softball it. Okay, you're not
I know.
underhand
I saw
lobbing it
smoke.
over here. You're fastballing it right
I
in.
saw. I saw smoke coming from your head. I was like, "Oh, Suzanne's thinking." Um, but I do want to invite everyone, as always, to visit TN Black Conservative Federation. As many people know, that I'm the
Please do.
president of the Black Conservative Federation.
Yes.
Please share, and then please share, like, invite your friends, share on your page. Send us a message if you're interested in joining the team. We're always looking for people to join the team, whether you're white, black, yellow, purple, and any of the other colors of the alphabet. So
If
please
you if
join.
you're purple, if you are literally purple, message me too, because I could use you in some sketch ideas I've had
Uh,
for a while. So
and I'm
all
sure
purple people
Suzanne will
message me.
be. I don't want to jump the gun, but Suzanne's probably going to have some good news for you guys later this week.
I know. We got some magic. Deontay and I, we powwow in the night when you guys are sleeping and you're all dreaming little MAGA dreams. Deontay and I are on the phone powwowing about how to make this country great again. Are we not? Is that not the truth?
Yeah, since we are making America great again. President Trump can't do
Yeah.
it by himself,
Yeah.
and so he needs people. And so
No, we
Suzanne
cannot.
will be hooked up with some good things. And so
Yeah.
other than that,
Well, look,
that's all that I
we're gonna
have.
do a big reveal. We're gonna let everybody know the magic once it happens. Yeah. Oh, it's something's good
Yeah,
happening. People are excited. Gotta give them something to look forward
yeah.
to. Christmas is past. We need these little surprises to get through winter, Deontay. So yeah, you guys,
It is.
seriously,
So you may
Deontay
have to
does great
join.
work with the Black Conservative Federation. And it's so important what your work you're doing, Deontay, because as I say many, many times, we are in such a ripe time to bring the Black community into the Republican Party. We are the moment is now, because the jobs are there, the support is there with the president, and the disenfranchisement with the Democratic Party is at an all-time high. So what you're doing is so key to the future of this
Thank you,
country and the
Mary.
future of the movement.
Um,
Awesome. Yeah,
should we
thank you,
give
Mary.
them a hint?
Deontay's good. Deontay's good. No, don't give him a hint.
Should we give them a
Karen, no, we're
hint?
not giving you any hints, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so, you're going to
Can
be
we just
blown.
say
Here's the hint. You're going to be blown away.
POTUS?
We're
Can we
going to
say
be blown
POTUS?
away. It has
Can we just
something
say
to
POTUS?
do with the
With
POTUS.
POTUS?
It is MAGA. Look, it's going to be magnificent. Magnificent. It's going to be magnificent.
Alrighty.
In fact, now I need a T-shirt that
Well,
says
I have to get back.
magnificent. We got to work on that. Yeah.
Well, I have to get back to
Deontay's got to
work,
get back to
so
work.
I can continue to have.
Thanks for chiming in, my friend.
But it was
I
nice.
will. We'll talk again
No
tomorrow
problem. Anytime.
or later today.
Alrighty. Maybe we will.
All
We
right.
will see each other
You never
tomorrow.
know.
But
We
alrighty.
have mega business all the time.
Alrighty.
All the time. Have a good day, my friend. Turn bomb.
Magnificent.
There we go. So yeah, magnificent. Exactly. We're gonna find out. Karen, I promise I will let everybody know the magic by probably Friday. Maybe we'll do a big reveal on Monday if it takes some time to make the magic happen. But something big, something good for the movement. And I appreciate Deontay coming on because it gives us an opportunity to mention just a little bit about how we were talking. I mean, I feel like it totally tapped into what we were talking about earlier, but there are different jobs in the movement. There are different people doing different things. And I think we see that right now in the case of our president and Steve Bannon. So good stuff, you guys. All right, let's go back to this. Let's jam out. Let's get back to our worlds, making America great again. I got a bunch of stuff I got to get done today, so I'm going to let y'all go. It has been great talking with you. So exciting. Yeah, no, Barry, he's great. He's a great guy. So I'm glad I'm glad to keep us all connected. This movement is key, and I'm glad to bring us all together more and more and more. Little Trumpy loves it, right? Look at him. Loves it. He loves it. Loves this country just like I do. Love all my Patriot family. Keep on making America great, you guys. We'll be back again tomorrow. I love y'all. I love every single one of you. Keep doing everything you can to make America great again. We'll be back again tomorrow. Make it up, just like we always do. Thanks, Penny, for the song. It's your girl, Suzzanne. Jumping out.